Okay, here in this video, we're going to take a look at multiplying monomials. Now that's key, monomial here, mono meaning one. So one term by polynomials, which means it's going to have more than one term. We're actually going to look at binomials, trinomials, actual polynomials, so anything that has more than one term. And you've done this before. We just did not call it monomials and polynomials, and we didn't have as many variables wrapped up. Other than that, this is something that we do know how to do. So let's just kind of think through what our process is here. Monomial, 4. See these parentheses? What do parentheses tell us to do? Hopefully you were thinking distribute. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to take the outside number and distribute it or multiply it by everybody on the inside. So we're going to multiply across. So we're going to take 4 times x squared, which is 4x squared. We're going to take 4 times 2x, which is 8x. And then we're going to take 4 times 1, which is 4. Okay, that is pretty familiar to us. Let's try another one though. Let's try this one. Let's say I took, and my monomial is 3ab, and then inside parentheses, I have 2a squared plus 3b cubed. Same steps. We're still taking the outside monomial and we're just distributing it in, meaning we're multiplying across. What's different though is the variables. So the 3 times 2, well 3 times 2 is 6. But what happens when I have a times a squared? And I'm just going to kind of write this over here. A times a squared. That means a. Now a squared, that's just the same thing as a times a, right? So a times a squared just results in having 3 a's being multiplied together. So this would be 6 a to the third, and then I have a b, but there's no others. So I'm just going to say, well, that would just rewrite that because it's just 1b. So let's think about that again. Let's put this in expanded form. Let's say I have 3 and 2, right? I'm going to multiply. And then I have the a's. I have the a from the first term, and then I have the a that I'm multiplying, and then I have a b. I just multiplied all that together. 3 times 2 is 6. There are 3 a's, and then there's 1 b, and I rewrite that as 6a to the third b. Let's try the next one. My next term, 3 times 3, well, 3 times 3 is 9, and now a times, well, there's not an a here, so I'm not putting a's together. I'm just going to keep this a so that I know I have 1a. Now, outside in, I have 1b on the outside. Remember, that's like b to the first. I have 1b on the outside and 3 b's on the inside. So I have a total of 4 b's. That's b times b times b times b. 4 b's. Okay, let's take a look at another one. Let's say I have on the outside, let's say I have 2a to the third b, and then in parentheses, let's say I have 3a squared b plus ab squared. Okay. Monomial on the outside, parentheses, here. Tells me I need to distribute, or I need to multiply through my term outside to everybody inside. So I start with the term outside and the very first term inside the binomial. There's 2 inside, so that's a binomial. So 2 times 3, again, is 6. Now I have an a to the third times a to the second. Well, I have 3 a's outside, 2 a's on the inside. A times a times a times a times a. So I can say, well, that means I have a total of 5 a's. Now I have a b on the outside and a b on the inside. So that's a total of 2 b's, so b squared. Okay, that's my first term. Now we need to distribute it to the second term in the binomial. So 2 times, well, remember there's a magic 1 here. So 2 times 1 is 2. 3 a's on the outside, 1 a on the inside, so a to the 4th. 1 b on the outside, 2 b's on the inside, so b to the 3rd. So we're just multiplying each piece a little at a time. We start with the coefficients or the constants. We start with numbers, and then we move to our variables. Let's see what else we got here. Let's try this one. I like this one. It has negative 3x as my monomial on the outside. And then inside I have x squared minus 4x plus 6. So I have a monomial on the outside, and I'm going to multiply it by a trinomial. So I'm going to multiply it by 3 different terms. So negative 3x times x squared. Well, negative 3 times the coefficient here is 1. So negative 3 times 1 is negative 3. X times x squared. That means I have 3 x's being multiplied. I have 1 x on the outside and 2 x's on the inside. So that's x to the 3rd. Okay, that's the first term. Now I'm going to take the negative 3x times the second term. Negative 3 times negative 4. Well, that's positive 12. And x times x, that's 2 of those, so x squared. That's the second term. And then I have the third term. So negative 3 times 6, that would be negative 18. I have an x on the outside and I'm multiplying. I don't have another x to put it with, so I just rewrite the x. All right, let's try another one of those where it gets kind of doubled up. Let's try this one. Let's say I have 5x squared y on the outside. Then on the inside, I have 2x y to the 3rd minus y. So I have a monomial on the outside and a binomial inside the parentheses. So I'm going to multiply or distribute the outside in twice. Again, just multiplying. So 5x squared y times 2xy to the 3rd. Well, 5 times 2 is 10. X squared times x, that makes for 3 x's. Y times y to the 3rd makes for 4 y's. Then the second term. I have 5 times, that's a negative 1, so that'd be negative 5. I have x squared times, this term doesn't have an x, so I'm just going to rewrite the x squared. I have 2 on the outside. And then I'm going to go back. I have a y times y. Well, y times y means I'm multiplying 2 y's, so y squared. So remember, we multiply the numbers, and then the variables, if you think about it, we're really just kind of adding them up because I know how many of them I'm multiplying. If I have a squared times a squared, I'm actually multiplying a 4 times. So we can think, oh, I can just add those together, and that will help me think, okay, how many are there when I multiply?